And the Golden Globe goes to Regina King.
Yes, Queen, yes! This is your time, girl!
In the next 2 years, everything that I produce, I am making a vow, and it's going to be tough, to make sure that everything that I produce, that is 50% women, and I just challenge
I'm a woman.
Anyone
Pick me.
Today's baggage, diversity in film. It's no secret that Hollywood's got a white man problem. The problem is that there are too many of them. The issue of inclusion, or the lack thereof, has been looming over Hollywood for as long as the movie industry has existed. Let me show you just how little melanin has been on both sides of the big screen. USC's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative did the research and found some not so surprising results. In a 10-year period, there were nearly 50,000 characters in the 1,100 most popular films with speaking roles, and over 70% were white, but only 12% were black, while less than 7% were Asian or Latinx. And the barometer for a speaking role meant that these characters said one word. When looking at gender across the decade, men were over 2 times more likely than women to have speaking roles. Between 2014 and 2017, about only 1% of the speaking roles were LGBTQ characters. The lack of diversity is not just a problem that you see on screen. Behind the camera, folks aren't any less pale. 1,200 films examined between 2007 and 2018 credited over 1,300 directors. 80 were black, and only 5 of those were women. Hollywood, baby, what is you doing? I'll tell you what they're not doing. Hiring underrepresented folks. Well, there are some in the industry acknowledging the problem and taking matters into their own hands.
I have 2 words to leave with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Inclusion rider.
Allow me to break it down for you. The first word, inclusion, the act of including. And the second word, rider. A rider is a set of demands from celebs that are necessary for them to perform. Some riders are known to be a bit specific, like Mariah Carey, who requested that her dressing room be about 75 degrees with a 3-seat couch, 2 vases of white roses, warm fried chicken, and drapes. I mean, I don't see a problem with that. An inclusion rider is a stipulation put in an actor's contract around representation, essentially saying, if you want to work with me, here's how the cast and crew needs to look. I don't know about y'all, but I'd love to see the films reflect the diversity we see in the real world. It ain't all white or male. Now, more and more A-listers like Regina King, Michael B. Jordan, and Tessa Thompson are using their power and influence for good. But some folks like Ava DuVernay had been riding for inclusion before inclusion riders became a thing. The director, who speaks out against injustice in all of its forms, mandated that her projects Selma and A Wrinkle in Time have half of her crew in every department be filled with women or people of color. And she's a trailblazer on TV too. She hired all-women directors for 3 seasons of her hit show, Queen Sugar. There were a few haters and even murmurs that folks would take legal action, but her response was unmatched.
I would invite you to tell whoever is feeling discriminated against to sue me so that I can inversely sue every studio that has left women out of a crew since the beginning of the motion picture industry 100 years ago. Because we can do this if that's what you want to do.
And while a select few in Hollywood fight for inclusion, some warn that true diversity is more than just filling roles with black, brown, or female bodies.
Hi, I'm Kristen Warner, an associate professor in the Department of Journalism and Creative Media at the University of Alabama.
What's up with Hollywood's obsession with whiteness?
It is very much obsessed with reflecting on the fact that whiteness is so normative that it can be anything. The flip side is black or brown bodies often have very limited representations.
And this limited representation is reflected in our numbers and in the types of roles we play. But Warner says that the emphasis on the numbers, filling roles with black bodies, rather than developing the character and its nuances, can be a pitfall. Some black characters are left seeming hollow. Warner calls this plastic representation. She says that if not managed, inclusion writers can be empty as well.
So I think with inclusion writers as a possibility of increasing diversity, I am often suspect of things that seem too good to be true in this industry, in particular things that seem to sort of generally help, right? Like these sort of blanket programs that no one really explains.
This isn't the film industry's first crack at diversity. Unions have tried to increase diversity through incentives years ago, but they obviously didn't really work. As we look at inclusion writers, Warner raises major questions like, how do we guarantee it works? And who is going to enforce the writers? These are all really important questions. And if the answer to those questions are the bodies of color, the ones who were trying to sort of get into the pipeline, if those are the people who are also tasked to enforce their own presence in this inclusion writer, then that is by nature probably not a good sign that this is going to be something that is going to be sustainable over a long period of time. In a perfect world, the people in front and behind the camera are as diverse as an Ava DuVernay project. But baby, this is Hollywood. In the same way that I imagine plastic representation as the power of the image, I feel like this is also a very kind of plastic tactic. We are also sort of saying, oh, this is great, you'll include this in your writer, important, you know, white male person or black male person or someone who has enough leverage to be able to add this. If it's not on you to enforce it, and if it's not on the studio head to enforce it, then whose job is it? I don't know if it's more than just a very shiny, nice feeling, nice affective, we've done something kind of tactic. But, you know, it certainly sounds nice. It sounds nice. All these steps to a better representation, like requesting inclusion or casting black people or women, is all good and necessary. But true inclusion is more than having a black or brown character saying a single word on camera. Let's take it a step further. It's also about enforcing these mandates. The stories we tell on screen need to be whole and driven by the people making them, cast, crew, and even the executives giving notes. It's about a cinematographer knowing how to light black skin, or a woman being in a writer's room bringing her experiences. It's our stories, so let us be the one to tell them.
Yes, queen! Brenda from 227's all grown up.